Puma. Yes, I am. Hold that thought, tribe. We're going to get into... I'm going to proceed on the Iron Man topic. So, like I said, the natives, the indigenous warrior, man, woman, was the original Iron Man, Iron Women. The dark red skin, that glow. A glow equals gold. Like the glow from the sun is gold, correct? So that glow is the gold that is within the subordinate parts of Iron Man. You know, the underarm parts, little chest cavity, he has the gold, but most of the suit, and oh yeah, his face has some gold in it, so you can see that glow, just like I. Then the rest of his body is that dark red, that dark like he on fire. And you look at but before I talk about Washita, spiritual rituals. See, spiritual rituals go on a lot. A lot of y'all think it just be mundane things that are in vain, but the universe sets things up to where the devil might use them for entertainment or bad, but the so-called God uses it for good. You know the song, the church song, the devil meant it for bad, and I'm so glad the Lord meant it for my good. I repeat, the devil meant it for bad. Now I'm so glad the Lord meant it for my good. So you have the Washington Redskins and the colonials, the colonizers. The Pilgrims took Washita, which is one of my tribes of original indigenous Native Americans, and they turned Washita into Washington, because the Washita tribe comes from this part in the southeast, this Alabama area. It ranges all the way up near Seattle, where you have a Washington, the plains where like Oklahoma and Texas. Then it goes all the way to the East Coast where you have DC. And as you see, that symbol of the Washington Redskins logo, the guy doesn't have red skin. He has dark brown skin, copper colored, like the color of a penny. And he has like so-called nappy hair, like braids, twists, locks, and feathers in his hair, a chief. So Hollywood got you to believe in the past that the Indians were these mongoloid looking people with pale skin and this long, shiny, silky hair. When really, no. The Indians, the real Indians, look like me and the indigenous people. Then you had Washington, which I don't even know if they knew about the spiritual ritual, but the universe used them, and they picked who? Robert Griffin. I saw Robert Griffin, I like, yo, he came out of Baylor, out of Texas, the Oklahoma area. Big Washita nation. And he's a Washita native, I'm pretty sure. He got drafted as their #1 pick, Robert Griffin III, RG3. And I looked at that brother, I said, yo, dark skin, big nose, hair stays in braids and plaits, twists. Looks very much like me. He's a warrior. Look at how he performs on the field. I was like, yo, what is going on here? Like, there's no such thing as coincidence. Like, the Lord, the universe, Ma is trying to tell me something. Elrod, your higher self, the Most High, is trying to tell you something. So I kept living. Lo and behold, if y'all familiar, if you grew up like me, there were some books with a TV show that came after it called Animorphs, where these kids, these children, they had spirit animals. Whatever animal that they loved and they was always around, they could touch and absorb that animal spirit and become that animal. Yes. And within this campground where I live, yes, my jaguar has arrived. Each and every night, they're here. You may say jaguar, some say puma, some say panther. All the same. See, a puma is usually when the jaguar has a solid coat, and it's usually the gold, like how the gold coat, the golden panther, how they call it, the Florida panther or the mountain lion, aka the puma. That's a panther as well, but that one usually has the solid gold coat, solid tan, kind of light brown coat. When it's a solid jet dark, so-called black, that's when it's called a panther. But when it has the highly popular gold coat with the dark spots, that's when they call it the jaguar. Because I love jaguar because the Native Americans named that the jaguar, which means he who kills in one leap. You see what I'm saying? The jaguar. And you look at that word, just the pronunciation, jaguar. It's like Yah, war, God and war. And the so-called jaguar is the best animal when it comes to war. Now, you have the lion, you have the tiger, bigger cats, but they're bulky. They're not long distance runners. They have to really get up on you, use their weight. See, the jaguar is different. The jaguar is all muscle. See, the lion still got a little fat here and there. Tiger got stomach, all that. But look at the jaguar. The jaguar is lean and mean. There's no movement wasted. That's why they named him, or named it, the jaguar who kills in one leap. Because once the jaguar has the most ferocious bite out of all cats. You hear me? Once that jaguar gets you in its grasp, it is over with. Nothing you can do. The ultimate predator. And that's my spirit animal. Just like in one of my incarnations, they call me the Jaguar God. The Jaguar King. The jaguar is smooth, like I said. No movement is wasted. No fat, just lean, mean. You rarely see the jaguar. And when you see the jaguar in the open, it's like a sight to be held. It shakes you like, whoa, look at something so dark, but so beautiful. Something so dark, but so light. Yes, and that's how I move. When I do come into fruition in human eyes, like I make cars and trucks and vehicles move. I've noticed this just by the sight of me, because I'm rarely seen. My energy is in here just like the jaguar. Just like the puma, just like the panther. You think they be making the movies for nothing? I'm telling you, 2018 is when Black Panther came out, right? Correct? That's the year of my awakening to who I really was. Yes. And I'm still learning who I am. But I'm talking about 2018, that Black Panther movie. That movie really helped me, helped change my life. Realized a lot of things. And that movie was about me. Another check that Hollywood owes me. More currency that Hollywood owes me, including Iron Man. So let's finish the Iron Man topic, how I got to the Redskins, how there's really us, which is not Redskin, how they would call us engines back in the day. Because an engine gets what? An engine gets hot, but it keeps moving. Like the engine in your car gets real hot. It's strong, but it keeps on pushing. Engine Indian. Yes, the real natives are the indigenous, melanin-rich warriors of this land called America. Those are the Redskins, the Iron Men. So, another spiritual ritual that this brother, and see, with spiritual rituals, some people get the physical benefits of it. Some people get the spiritual benefits. I'd rather have the spiritual benefits because everything that's physical is temporary. So, in my state of Alabama, in a small town called Auburn, they had a quarterback named Cam Newton. You look at this brother, strong bone structure in the face, the nose, like he looks like he come from the Olmecs. Comes from the natives here, the Washita, the Choctaw. Just look at him. And who did he get drafted? The #1 pick by who? The Carolina Panthers. And that's my baby. And where I live, they treated him like a king, like a god. The Jaguar god. The Jaguar king. And I was like, yo, him and RG3, these brothers, I was like, yo, they really came up. These people are really treating these guys like the kings that they are. Just don't mess it up, guys. But a lot of brothers is so fixated on the physical that they miss the leap. So you look at Cam Newton now, like right before he started growing his hair out, he was on a TV talk show where he was like, he's practicing sex abstinence. He's experimenting with vegetarianism, pescatarian. Like, that's what warriors do, clean themselves up. It just sucks that he didn't do that when he was in that Panther mode. See, now he went to the Patriots and he ain't at his peak in the media. And now his hair is wild, all on top of his hair, them locks, like the Jaguar King. But guess what? I absorbed that energy. Like I said, he got it physically. He still tapped in. Shouts out to my child. Shouts out to RG3 as well, who went to the Ravens or Ravens, Raw. Shout out to him too. A lot going on. Spiritual rituals. Be aware of what's going on around us. Just like now, you have rappers, Da Baby, Lil Baby. There's a reason why the universe allows certain people to get on, to create a wave. Even though their music is low vibrational and they ain't really talking about much, it's the name. Just the name alone should have people doing what? Taking care of the babies, the little babies. Protect our children. Protect the children are the tribe. The children are the future. I know you've heard this PSA many occasions. The children are the future. The children are the world. So we must protect the baby and the little babies. Point blank, period. Because there is a war going on for our babies. Just like when you had Nicki Minaj. She came out. Her message wasn't all that high, but she called herself a Barbie. Now, my whole life in my childhood, the Barbie was this Caucasian looking doll. fancied up and, well, not fancied up, but popularized, and a lot of material around her, a lot of vanity, material vanity on this Caucasian doll. Well, Nicki Minaj came out and said, no, I'm the Barbie. What y'all should have been absorbing, that this was a wave. The universe was letting you know, like, yo, she is the Barbie. That's the doll. You should be treating because look, it's a melanin rich, a more original so-called black woman calling herself Barbie. Not the Caucasian woman no more. Sit down. You had your shot. We going back to where things should be. We are returning to natural order. And in order to get the natural order, we must lift up the true Barbie, the indigenous woman who started life here on this planet. And not in see, the indigenous woman took it out of context. And she was like, oh, I'm a Barbie too. Let me get this long extension, this long weave, these nails. No, sit down, my child. Your mind is fabricated, so your body is fabricated. Let me teach you the real. No, being a Barbie meant that you should be on display, that the world should be in awe of you, not what you're wearing, not what can be added to you, but you just how you are. You see what I'm saying? Try.